Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Megan from Gray Arrow Tarot. And today we are going to look at messages that your spirit guides really need you to hear right now. I'm intending these to be urgent messages. This doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that these are messages that you urgently need based on whatever situation you've got going on. I'm also intending that these messages be kind of supportive or comforting. And this is a timeless reading. So whenever you are clicking on this video, whenever it is finding you, it is exactly right. This is exactly what you need to hear in this moment. But if you happen to be watching this closer to when I'm releasing it, which I think is going to be February 8th. I'm filming this on February 6th. The video is going to be released on February 8th. And there are energies going on right now that have made me want to do this video. I'm going to talk about the inspiration behind this in a minute in case that's something you're interested in, but if it's not, I want to give people the option to dive right into the reading. But I think if you are feeling a little bit triggered right now, if you have like a lot of release, a lot of things coming up, especially old things, the inspiration behind this video and hearing that might be really supportive to you as well. So we'll get to that in a minute. Stick around if you want to hear it. But if you don't and you want to dive right into the reading and get your messages, this is going to be group number 1. This is group number 2. This is group number 3. And this is group number 4. You cannot choose wrong. Whatever group is really speaking to you is the group that has your messages. And if you are feeling pulled to multiple groups, that just means that there are messages for you in multiple piles and you are free to listen to as many as you would like. Let your spirit guides guide you here. So now, if you are looking for the background of this, the inspiration behind this reading, there's a lot of kind of heavy energies right now. We are coming into the final weeks, or we are in the final weeks of the year of the snake. So this is a last big shedding. This is a last big release before we get into this fire horse energy that happens on February 17th at the new moon. It's also a solar eclipse, so it's very activated, very heightened, very supportive of moving things forward, among other things. But that's the general overview. So what's happening right now, I am finding this to be true, and I was on a call yesterday with a bunch of other tarot readers that I had a certification with, and we are all feeling it. Like, it's insane how much we are feeling it. Everybody had a story about things that are coming up, things that they thought they were getting past. One person literally said, I can't believe I'm here again. Like, I'm frustrated that I'm back in this place because it's something that she thought she healed. And I have been feeling the same way, that things are coming up that I've done a lot of healing work around. But I also did have this awareness of what's going on. So it's like it makes sense. And it doesn't necessarily ease the process, but it eases, I think, my awareness. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable to move through this phase. And to know that this truly is happening for me. I think it can be very difficult to get in that place when things are feeling a little turbulent. But this energy that's happening right now, this big release that's coming forward collectively, we are all being encouraged to shed whatever it is that's keeping us from moving forward towards our dreams and goals, from the people we want to be. This is a great, great shedding. And there's lots of encouragements to lean into it. So with that shedding in mind, because I'm feeling very intense, things are coming up, and I know a lot of people, again, that I've spoken to are feeling the same thing, I thought it would be really helpful to get some messages of support and encouragement and comfort from your spirit guides. So that is what we're going to do today. Again, this is group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. You can go ahead and choose your group. If you want to sit with the cards for a little bit longer, you can pause the reading here. Otherwise, when you're ready, you will find the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Hey group 1, welcome to your reading. Let's see what messages your spirit guides have for you today. Ideally messages that are supportive, comforting, and inspiring even. What messages do your spirit guides have for you? Let's see, that's 4. Let's get one more. What messages does your spirit guides have for you, group number 1? Ooh, that's a lot more. But you know what? We'll take that one. We'll take the one that really wanted to jump in with the rest of the pack. Jeez, this deck is like all backwards. Or no, I just put those cards in backwards. Okay, there we go. Okay, so first up we have the 7 of Wands, followed by the 10 of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. And this is the one that just had to be a part of this reading, so I think it's really interesting that it came out in this order once we added it to the group here. So what I'm getting here we have all of these cup cards. We've got 3 cup cards here. We've got 2 wands cards. So I feel like for you, one, I think there might be some relationship issues coming forward, not necessarily romantic, it can be, but just things that are within your relationships that are not serving you. If there are areas where you've been overgiving to your relationships, you might be finding those triggers being stepped on. If there are areas just where, again, just relationships that are misaligned, those things I think are coming to the surface to be addressed. Also, with this Wands energy, I feel like a lot of the reasons why this is happening is because you are being led to a path. Your spirit guides want you to know this. You are being led to a new passionate creative path. Whenever we've got Wands and Cup cards, they each have an element of creativity to them on their own. I see them both as if they show up in a creative reading, I'm not surprised. When they show up together, this is absolutely about creativity to a degree. So I feel like you are being called to, or this whole process, what's going on for you right now is really waking up a new level of your creativity or a new layer of your creativity. And it's sparking passion in you in a new way. That's why this is happening. That's why, if there's any triggers again that are being stepped on, that's why these things are surfacing. It's because it is to make room. It truly is to make room, to make space for what wants to emerge next. And what wants to emerge next, again, is a new level of creativity. I also think it's really interesting with this Queen of Cups card. First of all, this is coming out in the center of your reading, but it has this mirrored imagery. If we split this card down the center with these tigers here, they are a perfect mirror for each other. So I do feel like it's you are kind of being asked to look in the mirror here and to see, again, what is coming up for you and how can you step into more power? How are you allowing this to limit you? And how can you set yourself free? And it's not saying I guess really what I'm getting to is it's asking you to take accountability for where you're at. Because always our external world is a reflection of our internal world. And if our external world is feeling a little bit chaotic or sticky or whatever it is, if that's not how we want it to be, it's always a call to go inward. And I feel like that's really what's being true for you right now, is you are being called to go inward and see how your energy has contributed to the situation. Now, of course, other people's energy is also going to contribute, so this doesn't mean it's 100% on you, but we all play a role in the situations that we find ourselves in, whether it's a conscious choice or, more often, an unconscious, energetic, subconscious choice. So this is really just asking you to kind of dig into those energies. I'm also noticing we've got lots of moons here. So I feel like it's kind of getting more into your intuition, letting your intuition guide you more, getting out of the logic, out of the overthinking, especially if you feel like you can't see a path forward. You're being asked by your guides to stop trying to see a path forward. All you need to know is the next step. So stop overthinking it. Stop coming up with a grand master plan. Come back to yourself and just worry about the next step. Feel into it, move through it. Okay? So let's get into this card by card. So with this 7 of Wands, I feel like this card is kind of speaking to the energy that I feel like you might be in right now, where it's we've got this smoke here, so it's almost like you're kind of fending off a fire. I feel like it's not things you are not on fire directly, but it's I'm just getting this energy of fending off a fire. or like needing to contain a fire. There's like a need of like where I feel like it's like there's almost this like anxious energy of like you needing to do something to stop a problem or to prevent a problem. But I feel like part of what you need to know, and there is, I think, a little bit that you might be able to do, but it's more about, again, it's you connecting to self is really important here. And that ultimately it's your emotions, it's your intuition, that's what's going to lead you forward. That's what's going to keep you moving in a really, really positive and healthy place. And I feel like that's something that, again, it's really important. I also noticing, I didn't notice it before, we do have a moon on this card too. So just really heightening, and an actual moon. So we have like the moon kind of symbol, but then the actual moon depicted here. So again, just your intuition is truly, truly crucial to you right now. Your guides want you to know that. They also want you to talk to them more, to ask for help, to ask for support. You can do this in meditation. I think it's helpful initially. You can also do this if you find like you're not sure if you're hearing your guides. You can do some automatic writing, which is just to sit down and start writing and not overthinking it. Just kind of like set the intention that your guides come through with whatever guidance they have, and then just start writing. And whatever comes through is messages from your guides. So yeah, there's just this need to kind of like, it's a mix between like there are things you can do, but it's that you need to be acting from an intuitive place, not a logical one. And you need to only be worrying about the next step, like we said earlier. Now with this 10 of Wands, I'm getting that you are in a bit of a transition period right now, or you're being guided to a transition period. And this is really indicating to me that like there right now you're kind of being encouraged and being told it's okay to take on a little extra. Because the 10 of Wands, it's about carrying more than you're used to. And sometimes it's a message that you need to let go. But in your case, I feel like it's a message that like this is a short-term situation. So yes, you might be a little overburdened right now. It's okay. It's okay for you to do the extra work. Yes, take care of yourself when you need to. But this is a short-term situation, and if you let yourself do the extra stuff, it's going to support you. It's going to put you in a really powerful place long-term. So again, let yourself lean in, do a little extra. Don't overdo it. Don't put yourself in a bad mental, emotional, physical place. But if you just find yourself a little overburdened right now, know this is a short-term situation. Like your guides want you to know, don't get in the mindset that this is a forever thing. Even again, if you cannot see the way forward, which I feel like is true for a lot of people. And I feel like it's really true for this group right now. So do not, oh my gosh, and we have another moon here. So again, you are really having your intuition is being hammered home in this reading. Now here with the Queen of Cups. This is, again, it's coming up at the heart of your reading. This to me is one of the biggest creative and intuitive cards. This is a card about being surrendered. It's a card about letting yourself be guided. The Queen of Cups is very much in flow. She allows. She does not overthink. And we've got, again, moon imagery popping off all over this card. So I don't really have too much more to add to this card. We talked about it a little bit in the earlier portion of your reading. But what I'm just getting here, and like I'm almost feeling it, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm feeling myself slow down as I read this card. Like I'm feeling my energy settle a bit. And I think that's kind of what you are being encouraged to do. I'm getting like this card is kind of like the guiding force for you. Like right now, the energy of this card, if you need a card as an anchor or an energy to come back to as an anchor right now, it's the Queen of Cups. She is here to tell you to surrender to the moment, to stay connected to yourself, to check in, and just do the next right thing. Just let yourself be guided to the next right thing. So much of your reading is about getting out of your head. So I think your guides really need you to know that while your head can always support you, your head and your brain and your intellect, they serve their purpose. They are very powerful, but I think generally speaking, but especially for you right now, your head should not be what's driving the show. It needs to be your intuition. And your brain needs to be supporting your intuition in whatever it's telling you to execute. But your brain needs to have a supporting role right now. With this King of Cups, oh my gosh, I wasn't even thinking of this when I was saying it, but the King of Cups is very much that energy. The King of Cups leads with his heart. He leads with his intuition, but he knows how to consult his brain. Like, that's the thing about the kings, is they're very balanced characters. They have gone through the growth and evolution to get to that point. And they have mastered one area. So in this case, the King of Cups, he has mastered his emotions and he knows how to use them. He's not afraid to use them and afraid to lean into them, or not afraid to lean into them. But he also knows when to consult logic, when to consult his brain, and how to use his brain to support whatever it is that he is being called to execute. But he is still driven and guided by his emotions and intuition. And this is the energy, again, that you are being called to right now. Especially, like, I'm interested. I'm kind of, these hands to me are really interesting. Oh, you know what's really cool? Okay, so we have both of these hands. These are two sets of hands that are holding up this moon. That's what's happening here. And it's like one hand is supporting the other as it holds the moon, and they're all coming together to support the moon itself. So I feel like the fact that we have two sets of hands here means like this is outside help, right? This is outside support. So if you feel like, if you either are having an offer of support, if someone is coming forward to help you, or multiple someone's, be open to that. And don't be afraid to ask for support. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's okay to do that. It might feel, I feel like in our society, we're conditioned not to do that. So it could feel uncomfortable or scary or whatever. Lots of complicated emotions may come up with this, but this King of Cups is here to tell you that support is okay. Support is necessary sometimes. And even if it's your spirit guides that you are asking for support, but it's also important then to get out of the way and let them help you, which can be very hard. And that's where I think meditation can be helpful. Even there's lots of Reiki sessions on YouTube that are helpful. I love, if I can remember, I'll link them below. Whispers of the Wolves is really good. Also Reiki Rachel. Those are two that I can speak to, but there's tons out there. There's tons of incredible Reiki channels. I feel like that might also be really supportive of you to help just kind of settle your energy so that your intuition can come forward a little bit. And now here with the Knight of Cups, I'm getting that you, I think, might be being pulled to or drawn to something a little more unconventional. Like the solution or whatever your next step is not what you think it is, or not what it like should be. You know? So I feel like with this Knight of Cups coming forward, you are being asked to really go with the flow. I love that we have this character who's like dancing. She's following the rhythm of whatever music is playing. She's going with the next step. Again, there's this repeated message of like, just take the next step. The next step is all you need to worry about right now. The bigger picture will sort itself out, but it's the next step. That's the only thing you need to be focused on. So get yourself out of the big picture and you move forward one step at a time. And if it leads you to an unconventional place, which this card is strongly suggesting to me that it will, that's okay. Just allow that to happen. Allow yourself to be guided. Okay. So now I am, like I said in the intro, if you watch the whole thing, this right now, when this video is going up, is a very big period of shedding. But even if it's not, it's like this is the energy I'm in when I'm filming it. So I'm imagining that if you clicked on this video, if you felt called to it, even if it's years in the future, there is some kind of shedding that's happening for you now. So I want to use this deck. I like this deck because it comes with kind of like a positive and a negative aspect of the same coin. So we'll see like what's being released and why that's being released, so that what can come in as a result. So let's see like what is being released. Why are you in the situation you're in right now? What's coming up for you to be healed right now is what I want to use this card for. Okay. Oh, yep. Yep. This totally makes sense. Devotion, indifferent, passionate. This is your, like we talked about, this is like this creative energy that's coming up. Wands are passion. I really feel like your passion is being cultivated right now. Like whatever is coming up for you, whatever you're being encouraged to let go of, if you've been like just kind of like ghosting through life or just moving through life with indifference, with kind of just like doing the minimums or kind of just being in more like doing what's necessary to survive type of energy. What's happening right now is here to wake up your passion. It's bringing more passion into your life. It's bringing more spark. And I really think this is going to happen in a few different ways. I do think it's like creativity. It's you expressing and like having something in your life or multiple somethings in your life that you are truly, truly passionate about and excited about. But I also feel like this is relationships coming in. It could be romantic if that's something you're looking for or even open to, but it's also friendships, it's connections, it's people you look forward to seeing, people who are really supportive of you and what you're taking on. So I'm just kind of getting this whole like relational and creative upgrade is kind of going on for you right now. Okay, what other messages do we have for pile number 1? Right now at this time, messages from your guides. Okay, we've got a bunch coming out. I really do want to keep this to just one card at a time today. Okay, so we get Temple of the Rose, Ancient Power, Expression, Activation, Scarlet Codes. Again, this expression is really coming up to me. It's really popping off to me. I feel like your expression is coming back online. It's like your throat chakra is being cleared to a degree. You are maybe tapping into like ancient power. I'm wondering for some of you if like it's something you used to do that's being sparked. Like if you used to like acting, you're finding yourself being pulled to that again. If you used to like writing, you're finding yourself being pulled to that again. If you used to like engineering, or you had some big dream that you let go of, you're being pulled to come back to it. And that also makes sense with this like 10 of Wands, because it's like if you have to do more for some of you, and this may not be true for all of you, but for some of you, it's like this could be career related. So it's like maybe you start building a website or you're building a community online that can eventually replace your income so you can live and work with more passion. But right now, like you kind of have to do both to make that transition. Again, that's not true for everybody, but it's that kind of energy where there is just something that I think like that you used to do that you're going to be called to make more time for. Okay. Oh, I want to talk about this deck too before we use it. So I love this deck. It is called the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle. It'll be linked below. All the decks are always linked below. But I love this deck. I love closing a reading, especially a reading like this from your guides with this deck, because it is both going to give you a message, but it's also going to ask you a question. So it's giving you something that you can explore a little bit deeper, get a little bit more intuitive guidance from. You can journal with this question, or you can just sit with it. However you want to use it or not use it is totally up to you. But I think it just leaves you with a little something extra that I wanted to share today. So what last messages, pile number 1, spirit guides, what last messages do you have for pile number 1? What do you want them to be thinking about right now? Okay. There is strength in doing nothing. Wait. What have you been forcing, and how can you let go of the outcome? Yeah. This is, and also too, look, we have this character meditating. Like this to me is peak get out of your head energy. There is strength in doing nothing. So you are being asked to slow down. You are being asked not to go too quickly. And you're being asked, like, where have you been forcing something? Because I also feel like what I'm getting with this question too, of where have you been forcing the outcome, is it's like, where have you been forcing something that wants to leave? Like, where have you been clinging on to something that wants to leave and trying to make it work when it's just not? And can you let go of that? How can you let go of that? Why are you resisting that release? So those are just some extra things to think about. But that is all the messages I have for you, pile number 1. I hope this was supportive. I hope it was helpful to you. I thank your guides for coming through, and I thank you for being here. If this reading resonated, please tell me how in the comments. I always love to hear, and give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you in future videos. And of course, if you would like a more personalized experience, I have reading options on my website, linked in the description box below. And if you would like to support the channel in another way, I do have a donations link also in the description box below. Donations are never expected, but they're always appreciated, and they do go to support the channel. But thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey group 2, welcome to your reading. Let's see what messages your spirit guides have for you. All right, that's too many. We will take the top card. What messages do your spirit guides have for you? Pile number 2. All right, that's 2 cards. Let's get a couple more. Get a couple more for pile number 2. What messages do your spirit guides have for you? Spirit guides for pile number 2. I invite you to come through. Let's get one more for you. I'm really feeling this one. Okay. Let's see what we've got. So first, the 7 of Swords reversed. 4 of Swords. King of Swords. King of Pentacles. And then 9 of Wands. Ooh. Okay. So first of all, I think it's very interesting that we've got all of these Swords cards kind of kicking off your reading. And I feel like there's a need for you to be like to be using your brain a little bit more, to be leaning into logic a little bit more. Which is funny, it's the opposite of what we had in the last reading. But like, I think, it's kind of a message, like there's a place for both, right? We need our intuitions and we need our emotions to guide us, but we also need to know how to balance that out with our brains and with logic and reason and implementation, like strategy. And it's also too, another important message for you right now from your spirit guides is you need to use your brain. You need to use your judgment, not other people's. Not what other people are thinking you should do, not what other people are telling you would make the most sense. You need to use your own discernment right now. That's coming up as something that's very, very important. But yeah, I feel like with these cards, first of all, I think it's interesting. Almost all of your cards are upright. So I do feel like this is kind of like how things going on in your more physical world and how to shape that. I think that's what we're going to get more messages on now. So it's not so much about internal shifts that need to be made right now. It's about like what physical things, what actions can you take or not take to bring the next phase of your reality in, your desired reality in for you. Also, it's interesting, we've got 2 kings. So this is like more masculine energy. So again, which is leading you to like, this is a time of action. This is a time of specifically inspired action. So it's about it. There is an element of doing that you are being called on, that's being called on you right now. You're really being challenged to step in, to move things forward, to make things happen, but also take care of yourself in the process. So I think we can kind of, especially in our society, we can go to extremes, and it can be easy to think, oh, I'm in doing phase, like I need to go. No, it's inspired action always. And I do think there's a good deal of inspired action you can be taking right now, but you're never being encouraged to overdo. Just put that out there. All right, let's go through this card by card. So when this card came out, the 7 of Wands reversed, what I heard as soon as I turned this card over was you need to stop lying to yourself. You need to stop lying to yourself about some situation. There is something that is not working or is not for you that you need to be willing to let go of. That you need, or at least change. Like there is something about it that needs to be shaped. Like with this open mouth, I feel like you need to open your mouth. You need to do something to make a change. You need to be vocal about your truth, about what's not working for you. Like I'm almost getting like stand up for yourself energy. And I think like what I'm kind of getting is like, if there's a situation that like makes the most sense on paper, it could be you, like I know career comes up for me a lot with these types of examples because I'm on the fly and I'm just going to go with it. This is just an example of the energy, but it's the idea that like, if you are in a job that it's well paying and it has maybe some flexibility, it overall, it just looks on paper like the best possible situation you can be in. But it's also kind of making you miserable, and it's also kind of sucking you dry. And it's something that maybe like your parents pushed you into, or just society as a whole, but there was there's other people who kind of put you on this path. This is you really coming to the realization that this isn't right for you. And this also could be a relationship. Like if there's somebody on paper that you get along with pretty well and it makes sense logically, but it also doesn't feel fully aligned. It doesn't even have to be a bad situation. It's just that it's not you. It's not authentically you. And there's a better option for you out there. This is really calling on you to be honest with yourself about that, to open your mouth and speak your truth, even if it upsets people. And that's where, of course, we're never encouraging anyone to be hurtful or harmful. But if you live in your most authentic life without hurting anybody else is upsetting to someone else, that's a control issue on their part. That's something they need to deal with and walk through. That's not something that you need to control or manage or continue to protect or support. And your guides really need you to know, this is your time to be vocal. This Four of Swords, this is also really indicating to me, this was the card that kind of was giving me the message of speaking, or not speaking your truth, but of using your mind, using your brain and your logic. Because I think sometimes society will tell us that we need to keep going, we need to push through whatever. Or even if I'm getting, if you're getting out of a situation, this card can also be a call to rest before you jump into anything new. So taking time to recover from that, I think again with society, it can be easy to be oh, you got to get back on the horse and keep going. No, you don't always have to do that. Sometimes it makes sense to do that, but sometimes you need time to just rest and recover. And that's where you know what is best for you. So it's kind of this energy of coming back to yourself. Also, this stillness that we have in this character in this nest, I do feel you are being encouraged. Again, it's stepping back from noise is part of the message I'm getting with this card for you, is that there's a need to step back from the noise so you can hear yourself better. This could be with a meditation practice, but it could just be sitting in silence. Also, too, one thing I have found helpful, honestly, even more helpful than meditation, is just limiting time online, limiting consumption in general. And this doesn't mean you can't read or whatever if you want to, but really cultivating space. And even though I'm saying it doesn't mean you can't read, it does mean doing those things less. Reading, watching TV, making more space to be with your own brain and not constantly feeding it new information or content. So it's just taking a step back from other people's thoughts, because that's essentially what every piece of content is someone else's thoughts for the most part. Of course, I'm generalizing, but if you are watching TV, that's somebody else's creation. That's somebody else's agenda. And it can be an agenda you agree with and enjoy watching, but it's still other people's brain power is behind it. And you are processing that without really allowing your brain space to come up with its own things. Consuming that content can be supportive and helpful, but it also takes brain space. So there's a need to kind of be a little bit more moderate with your consumption, if that makes sense. So yeah, just really stepping back, creating more peace for yourself. I think your guides want you to know, that's kind of, especially if you're in a kind of a turbulent or shedding period, that's what you are being pushed to do, is to create more peace for yourself, to be honest with your truth and to speak your truth where necessary. With this King of Swords, this is even echoing that speak your truth message, because the King of Swords does what needs to be done. The King of Swords is willing to, this is somebody who is at the top of his game. Very logical. He is more strategy driven. He's also very wise. We have this owl coming up. So I feel part of it is you're being asked to lean on your own wisdom. Lean on the wisdom that you have gained. Do not discredit that. Do not think other people's wisdom is more valuable than yours. It's not. What you have acquired, the wisdom and knowledge you have acquired, that is what is going to lead you forward on your unique journey. And I'm also being drawn to this bat that we have flying here. That's what's going to help you soar. But the King of Swords is also very willing to be honest. And he's not going to try and be hurtful when he does, but he is going to be honest. And if he hurts someone's feelings, that's what happens. Again, it's not being cruel. He's going to be as kind as possible when he delivers this truth. But if the truth needs to be delivered, he's going to deliver it, even if he does it kindly. And if people are hurt or upset by that, that's not something he can control. He does not try to manage other people's emotions and feelings. And I think that is an energy you are really being called to step into. is just letting other people feel and have the response to whatever you're doing or whatever you put forward without feeling like you have to manage that, because it's really not your responsibility. Your guides need you to know you don't need to do that anymore. And that's part of, I think, what you're being asked to shed right now is it's a little bit of people pleasing, but it's like emotion managing is kind of how it's coming through. Because ultimately with this King of Pentacles, I feel like there is something really magical and really prosperous that you can be putting this energy towards, like the energy that you've been giving to other people that has not been aligned with you. There is something available to you that this is, I feel like, what wants to come in. Like, I feel very expansive with this card. I feel very open and excited with this card. I love I'm being drawn to these like magical flecks that we have happening here. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but there's kind of like this energy of magnetism that I'm getting with this. And it's like, if you can just get rid of what's not authentic to you, what is meant for you is going to come in. And there's something really beautiful and really magical that you can be giving your time and energy to. And with this dog coming up here, I'm feeling like this is going to be something that's like a long-term partnership. I'm not getting a person. It could be a person, but it's more of like this thing that you could build that could really be very prosperous for you, because we do have the pentacles here. It could be very prosperous for you, but like it's a long-term thing. Like this is something that's like very life-changing event. And this is something that will be very loyal to you. And it's something that you can make a commitment to. So I just feel like there's a new opportunity that wants to come in for you, but it can't until you get rid of the stuff that's out of alignment. And this card, I think, is very important. It's a very important message. It's from your spirit guides. If you have been going through it lately, if you have been, if you are in a shedding period, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, you need to know you are close to the end. Like, you have done a lot of work. You have done a lot of healing, and you have been through it. You are close to the end. Just keep going. Have faith. Don't look too far ahead. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. But know that you are close to truly completing and closing out this cycle, and that there is something magical waiting for you. All right, so let's get a card here. I'm using this deck in this reading to see what is wanting to leave your life, so what can come into your life. So there's typically on this deck, there's like something that's kind of like negative or not really favorable, and something favorable. So it's like the unfavorable thing is the healing you're being asked to do, and this popped right out. Interesting. Yes. Okay. We've got open and closed. And interesting enough, like with this portal, I do feel like the portal is open for you. This is like, again, it's an opportunity for you to really step out of your old identity that's not serving you and into this new one, this healing process. But interesting, how I'm getting this for you is actually, it's almost like you've been too open to other people's ideas and impressions and perceptions of reality, but also yourself. So it's asking you to actually be more closed off, be more connected to yourself, be more discerning. Actually, with this King of Swords, it's like it's cutting the ties. It's cutting through the connections that aren't supportive of you. And this can be relational connections, but also just energetic connections to things, ways of being, jobs, careers, what have you. There's just this real call for you to kind of close up your energy a little bit, call it back to you. Shore yourself up. And I love that we have this character with a baby, because I do feel like you are being prepared to birth something into the world with this King of Pentacles energy, this thing that wants to come through. So this card is so freaking aligned with what we've been talking about here. See what other messages your spirit guides have. Messages for group 2 from your spirit guides. What messages do you have for group number 2 spirit guides? Oop, here we go. We've got Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within destiny. Again, just more echoing, more confirmation. Divine plan, you are being divinely guided. So lean into your spirit guides right now. Let them guide you. But this wisdom, intelligence within, what have we been saying this whole reading? That you have the wisdom you need to excel. This intelligence within is here to support you. It's your inner intelligence. It's your specific brain power is what you need right now. So it is about like closing out the outside world a little bit, not cutting yourself off from it, but just turning down the volume, turning down other people's thoughts, ideas, and actions so you can use your wisdom and intelligence to guide those things for you on your own. And now before we use this deck, I do want to tell you a little bit about it. So it's called the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle. I really love to close readings out with it when I use it because it gives you a message, but it also asks you a question. And this is a question that you can use to journal about. You can use this question to meditate on or just sit with or contemplate, or you cannot use it at all if you don't feel called to it. But I think for a reading like this, where you're looking for guidance and like we're looking for messages of support, it can be something that helps you even more deeply tap into your own inner wisdom. So let's see, last messages from your spirit guides. What do your spirit guides have for you? What messages do they have for you right now to close this reading out? What's the last message that they want to give you? I want this one. You cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. Where is your heart guiding you? Yes, again, just more echoes, just more confirmation. If you are concerned, especially if you're in this like phase where you're being encouraged to exit situations and make these kind of changes, it can then be very hard to get paralyzed in fear of making a mistake, doing the wrong thing. Your guides need you to know that's not going to happen. You cannot make a mistake. Even if you end up in a situation you don't love, there's another possibility. Like it's not a mistake. It's a growth period. But there's you cannot go wrong here as long as you are listening to your heart. So get clear on this. Where is your heart guiding you? I feel like that's all of this is like getting clear on your truth. That's part of the first step is understanding where your heart is guiding you. But then also with this King of Pentacles energy, with this thing that wants to come forward, that's going to be a really important question to ask. So I do feel like you are being encouraged to come back to that question a few times during this process right now. Just really getting clear on where is your heart guiding you. And honestly, you might even consider making that like an anchor question for you, for yourself, of always coming back to, hey, where is my heart guiding me? Where does it want to take me? And just allow yourself to explore that on a regular basis. Oh, man, your guides had a lot for you. I'm going to leave this reading here, pile number 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you in future readings. And if you'd like a more personalized experience, as always, I do have those available on my website. You can book a personal reading there. If that's not right for you, but you still want to support the channel, I do have a donation link in the description box. Donations are never expected, but they're always appreciated, and they do go to help the growth and the creation of these videos. So thank you again for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, Group 3. Let's see what we've got for you. What messages do your spirit guides have for you? We have one that flipped over. What else do we have? Okay, a few that flipped over. Let's get one more. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, your guys definitely want to chat with you. Let's see what they have to say. All right, first up we have the 5 of Crystals, which is the Pentacles in this deck. And the Page of Crystals, reversed, followed by the Lovers reversed, and the 9 of Wands reversed, followed by the Akashic Records also reversed. Okay. So all of these reversals are indicating to me that right now the most valuable thing you can be doing is the inner work, which I know can sound really frustrating. And honestly, I have been there where like I was getting messages of needing to do the inner work. I was very determined that no, I'll do the inner work once my external world is how I want it to be. And guess what? It did not, my external world was not changing. So after like 6 months of trying to force my external world to be different, I stopped and went inward, and then things started to shift. And the more inward I went, the more drastic the changes became. And I feel like your guides need you to know this is not a waste of time. Like it's not a waste of time to do the inner work. I also think you're closer to your completion point than you realize. But I do think what is coming forward right now, I do feel like for a lot of you, there's probably some kind of financial struggle because we have the 5 of Crystals here, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I think the main energy around here, like I think you are being asked to shed the lack and scarcity. You are being asked to release lots of lack and scarcity energy that's keeping you in place. I think these are like old mindsets, deeply ingrained mindsets, this is a massive opportunity to shed all of that. And I do think that's interesting that that came out as opportunity. I do think you are being encouraged to see it as an opportunity to leave this behind so that you can come out of this fully resourced and supported. Like, I feel like I'm getting, especially with this 9 of Wands coming up, like this is like closing the chapter. So if you have had a history of financial struggle or just not being able to get your finances where you want them to be, this is an invitation to end that. This is an opportunity to end that, but you have to do this inner work. The outside is not going to change until you do this inner work. Okay? Your guides need you to know that. So let's start getting into this a little bit more card by card. So with the 5 of Crystals here, because this is the card that's upright, this is what's giving me the indication that this is kind of the external energy that you are experiencing right now. This is lack and scarcity. In a lot of ways, it tends to be more financial. And I think for a lot of you, this is. It's also possible, though, it's just a feeling of lack and scarcity. It's you not having, looking around and not seeing that you have what you want. It's also, too, this is another piece of this. It's also kind of the never enough, like never having enough, or like looking at what you want, the type of lifestyle you want, and feeling like you're never going to make enough to get that. So it's not even like, it's not from a being greedy sense. It's like just kind of looking at your situation going like, man, I'm never going to get there. Like, I'm never going to have enough. I'm never going to be able to live the life I want. So that is also pieces that I think are coming through to be healed. And I think it's interesting that we've got these cats in these moons that are kind of moving forward. So I'm wondering if like a cat might be kind of a symbol for you. Like if you are looking for a nod from your guides, if you start seeing cats, that might be a sign from them that like, hey, like we're here, we're helping you, you're on the right path, like just keep going. So that could be helpful for you. Also too, I think it's interesting that this card is very green, and this deck is actually more of a purple, pink, blue deck that as we have here. There aren't a ton of green cards. So I do feel like there is a little bit of heart chakra work that can be done. This could be self-love or just kind of connecting with the energy of love more often and really tuning into that and letting love kind of be the guiding force. And even as I'm saying that, I'm feeling my body soften. I'm feeling my body relax. So just tapping into that energy of love, letting love guide you, maybe asking like, what's the most loving thing I can do for myself today? Or what's the most loving step I can take next might be really helpful and supportive of you at this time. But you just need to know, especially like your guides are giving you a roadmap here. They're giving you a roadmap to really heal this so that you can create real abundance from yourself or for yourself. Okay, so let's get into this roadmap. Here with the Page of Crystals reversed, I feel like you are being really called to ask, like, what do you want to do? Because the Page of Crystals is like the beginning of a financial journey, but it's also, to me, it's the beginning of financial ease. So the fact that this card is coming up in the reverse, I feel like there's like a piece of your reality, specifically around how you make money perhaps, or your financial goals, or just your material goals in general. There is something that's out of alignment there. So it's kind of like you might be trying to make something happen and you're kind of like putting all this energy into it. And that could be part of why you have this never enoughness, if you do have that. But it's this energy of like you forcing something because it sounds good and you think you want it. Or maybe you did want it at some point, but now you've shifted and changed and you haven't realized that your goals also have, that your soul is guiding you in a different direction now. This is a call for clarity, first and foremost. It's getting clear on what you want, on what your material and financial goals are. For some of you, I think you need to hear it's okay to want money. It's okay to want abundance. You can't get it if you don't ask for it. So it's okay to want it. Like, that's not making you greedy, especially if you are a like kind, loving, caring person. Kind, loving, caring people with money, that just gets amplified. You know, I think it's very common that we have that belief, I think, as a society that's kind of perpetuated that money can ruin people, or the things money does to people, but it's not the money, it's the people. Money just amplifies who you really are. And if you are a kind, caring, and loving person, then we need you to have money. We need more people from that place in a position of financial privilege and power. So take that as it resonates. But overall, I just think it's really important for you to know and get clear on what you really want and where you're really being guided to. Next, with the Lovers reversed, this is also indicating to me that there is some inner connection and self-love work that needs to happen. This doesn't mean you have to be in a place where you actually hate yourself, because I think we can get in the habit of seeing self-love as it's either you love yourself or you don't, but it's actually a spectrum. So you're being encouraged to move further down the self-love spectrum right now. You are being encouraged to do more nurturing, loving, caring things for yourself. I'm also getting let go of pressure. For a lot of you, I think you are putting too much pressure on yourself. And your guides really want you to let go of that pressure. That's one of the most kind and loving and caring things you can do for yourself right now, is just to let go of the pressure. Turn more over to them. That's what your guides want you to know. They are here for you. Turn more over to them. Let them guide you. Take more off your plate. They are here for you. And I feel like I just want to take a moment, just let that settle for a minute. They are here for you. You are not alone in this. And also with the Lovers coming up in the reverse, I feel like this is going hand in hand with the Page of Crystals here. It's you getting clear on what's actually aligned with you, on what things are actually exciting to you. So it's kind of, for me, it's the same energy of you used to have something that was aligned with you, a goal that you were chasing, but you've changed and grown, and now that goal is not aligned with you anymore. That thing that you want, that even if it's a passion, if it's a career, it's okay to change. It's okay to let go of something that you used to love, because it's going to make way for new things that you love to come in. So I'm kind of getting with these two cards is this energy of releasing the old you, releasing what you used to care about. With this Nine of Wands reverse, I feel like this is really the card that's indicating to me you are closer to the end of this chapter than you realize. This is the final shedding for this career and finance stuff, especially if you've been here before. This is the final shedding. This is it. This is the end of the chapter. Your guides need you to know you are close to closing this out. Do not give up. Try not to get too frustrated. Come back to yourself. Ground with yourself. Be with yourself. Stay connected to yourself. All of these things, this repetition, it's really important. That's when things come through repeatedly, it's super important for you. So this connection to self is crucial for you right now. It's tuning out the noise, especially if you are feeling financial pressure. I know it can be difficult to tune out the noise. Tune out the noise and come back to yourself. And come back to what feels right for you. And come back to your truth. I'm also getting, and I'm getting it with this card too that we're going to get into, there's a need to release the ego. And what I mean by that, it's not acting from an egotistical place, but it's letting go of goals. I think both financial and just other goals that are more accomplished based. They sound good. That's what I mean by being a more egotistical goal. It's a goal that even if you did want it at first, I'm almost thinking a major accomplishment, if you wanted to be the CEO of some company. And I'm not really getting that energy from this group, but just as an example, if there was a goal that you wanted to be a CEO when you started your career, and it of course that sounds very impressive. And there's a part of you that still likes the sound of that. And that might be why you're clinging on to it. It's because you like the sound of the goal more than the goal itself. Maybe you've come to realize I don't actually want that responsibility. Or the pay might be nice, but there are longer hours and there is a lot of weight and responsibility that comes with being in that position that you don't actually want. So it's being willing to let that go. Now with the Akashic records speak to the collective wisdom that we have as a society, as a spiritual being, that we all have access to the history of the world, essentially. But this reversal to me was really indicating like your own Akashic record. So like your history, this could be past lives, but also just like, to me, this is a deep connection to your soul is what's being encouraged here. It is a deep connection to your soul, to your inner wisdom, to your inner guidance system. Your guides need you to know that this is available to you. That this is something you can do for yourself. This is something you can make happen. And I don't fully know what that means. I don't know what you're making happen, but that's just what came through. There is something that wants to come through for you. And I think in part, like, actually, you know what? It's closing this chapter. Closing this chapter is something you can make happen, especially if you've been here before. It might be frustrating because like again, like there's this energy right now of like old wounds coming up to be fully healed and released. So I think if there's something that you feel like you have done the work for, especially with regard to your finances and career and what have you, this is this is letting you know that you have everything you need to set yourself free. You have the inner wisdom and guidance. You just need to tap into it. You need to use it. And it starts with quieting your mind, with quieting the outside noise. And again, leaning on your spirit guides. They really do want to help you navigate the situation. They can help you create a path forward. All right. Okay, so let's see. This deck here I'm using as kind of like, it tends to have like a positive and negative, like two sides of the same coin type of a style to it. So I'm using this as like, this is what wants to be released right now, or this is what will help. If you release this thing, it will help support your journey. And this is what it's helping you call in. So let's see. Messages from your guides. This card, this one. Okay, interesting. So we have like perceptive. So I feel like it's like you are being called to be more perceptive, and that's part of what this journey is. I think it's also opening you up. Like I think it's interesting. We have this character who like is crying. I feel like it's helping you, like this journey. This is a journey inward. It's helping you be more connected to yourself, and it's like awakening a new level of empathy in you. This does not mean that you do not have empathy before, but it's like really allowing yourself to feel. It's really like we've got all of this water imagery. This is really allowing you to tap into your emotions in a different way and going from oblivious to aware. And I think this oblivious is specifically, it's not like, I don't think you're truly oblivious, but I think it's an emotional, like shut down things. Like if there are things that you have kind of boxed up, this is an awakening. This is bringing those things to the surface, but in a positive way, because ultimately this is all facilitating a deeper connection to self. It's a deeper connection to your emotions, but it's a deeper connection to self. It's allowing yourself to feel things you have not before. And if you're asking, well, how does this fit into my finances? I think it's ultimately that there is a part of yourself that you are shrinking down, that you are containing, that wants to be released, that wants to be unleashed. And it's in that unleashing of that emotional side of the full depths of your range and empathy and emotional range and empathy. If you are willing to open yourself up to that, if you're willing to allow more awareness to that and allow that to be seen, of course, not to everybody. You don't have to like put yourself crying on the internet if you don't want to, but like let the people closest to you know that you feel things. Let the safe people in your life know that you feel things. There's this awakening. And it's like if you are willing to open yourself up to this, that's you opening yourself up to a lot, including finances. But you have to be willing. It goes back to this page of crystals we talked about. You have to be willing to say what you want. Like ask for what you want. If like you want the money, it's okay to want that. That doesn't make you a bad person. You have to be willing to open up your heart too. Everything works in conjunction together. So doing like, well, we talked about the 5 of crystals with the heart energy. Yeah, that's what this card is about. The connection between your heart and your finances is closer than you think. It is a closer connection than you realize. The more open you are to love, to peace, to all of the good things in life, the more willing you are to give those things, the more your finances are going to come into flow. It also goes back to the self-love work. The more love that you have for yourself naturally will increase the love you have for others. That's going to increase the flow of your finances. So all of this is connected. Like I feel like that's a really important message from your guides. And I've had that happen to me in the past where like my finances are tied up in something else. Like I do the money work and that's great, but there's another lesson that's closely connected to it. For me, it was self-trust in the past. And once I learned the self-trust, the financial floodgates opened. So in this case, this is emotional for you. Like, this is about really connecting to your emotions, feeling your emotions, expressing your emotions in a healthy way with safe people, if that makes sense for you, but just really getting to a point where you are expressing your emotions, you are aware of them, you are making space for them. That is opening you up. That will open up your financial floodgates as well. Okay. Oh, all right. Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within, destiny. Yeah. You are really being called to tap into this intelligence within. That's the Akashic Records energy. You are really, again, this repetition, you are really being told you know what to do. Your brain might not. Your brain might be spinning out, but internally, you have this wisdom within, this divine plan. Your spirit guides have a plan for you. You are destined for something more than this. We are all destined for more than struggle, right? We are here to heal these things so we can have the abundance, so we can live abundantly, so we can live peacefully. You are so close to that. And it's this internal connection, this opening up of your emotions that's really going to deeply, deeply set you free. Okay, this is our last deck, and I do want to talk about it for a minute before I shuffle. This is called the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle deck. I love this deck, and one of my favorite things about it, especially with closing a reading, is that it does give you some last guidance, but it also asks a question. And this question can be something that you journal on. It can be something that you meditate on. It can be something that you just contemplate, or it can be something you completely discard if it doesn't feel helpful to you. But I kind of like to leave readings like this, especially with the themes of this reading, which talk about inner wisdom. It's an opportunity for you to tap into that inner wisdom and explore something that your spirit guides are really guiding you to explore. So let's see what your guides want you to look at, what last message your guides have for you, and last piece of guidance for your internal journey. Okay. You know what? 2 cards came out for you. I want to take them both. So first we have Universe Rewards Motion. What guided action can you take today? So I think this is very important. What guided action? And motion isn't always active, which might sound, especially because we're talking about guided action, but like it's not always something that's like you out in the world doing, especially with your reading that's so heavily focused on reversals and internal work. Guided action can be you setting aside the time to meditate. Guided action can be you blocking your social media accounts, like taking them off your phone for a week. Whatever the guided action is for you is what you're being called to do right now. So actually go inward and see what guided action you can take right now. All is in divine order. Allow. And this to me is almost going back to this awareness of you allowing your emotions. How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? So you're really being called to be more fluid here. Can you allow this process to happen? Can you allow yourself to flow through this? How can you relax into this flow more? How can you go with the current of life? Can you look at ways that you cut off the current of life, ways that you try to force situations to be what you want them to be instead of how they want to be? So yeah, maybe you want to sit with those questions, maybe you don't, but I hope they do provide some support, help, and further contemplation beyond this reading. But that's all I have for you. Pile number 3, thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. If you enjoyed this reading or found it supportive, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. I would love to see you in future readings. And if you would like a personal reading, I do have those available in the description box below. I also, if that's not right for you, but you still want to support the channel, I also have a donation link. Donations are never expected, but they're always appreciated, and they do go to help the growth and evolution of this channel. But thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey Pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's see what messages your spirit guides have for you. Spirit guides, what messages do you have for pile number 4? We've got 1 card that came out. 2, 3, And there's the rest of your cards. We got an extra one for you. That's all right. We're going to run with it. Okay. So first up for you, we have the Ace of Cups, followed by the Page of Crystals, which is the Page of Wands in this deck, the Nine of Blades reversed, Strength reversed, Judgment reversed, and the Ace of Crystals upright, or the Ace of Wands. Let's see. Okay. So what's interesting from the jump is that almost all of your cards are in the reverse, except for the cards that came out on the end, and both of these cards are aces. So I do feel like overall right now you are being guided to a really wonderful new beginning, a new start. I feel like for a lot of you there's going to be an element of creativity to this because both the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Crystals or Wands is here. And to me, when those cards show up together, when those suits show up together, that is big creative energy. So I do feel like you are being called to be more creative. This can mean doing a creative task or a creative project or craft, but it could also mean just being more of a creative thinker, getting outside the box, doing things that activate the creative part of your brain in a different way. Finding creative solutions. I feel like your guides also want you to know if there's something that you're going through right now, if there's some kind of problem that you're having, creative solutions are what you need to be looking for and what you need to be open to. It's not going to be something traditional or conventional. And I'm also getting like you can't think your way out of it. Like you got to feel your way through it, and you've got to be open to things coming into your path that will inspire you. So try to loosen your grip a little bit. Okay, let's get into the other part too, with all of these reversals, I do feel like there's a real call for you to do some kind of inner work here. The inner work is what's going to set you free, is what I feel like you need to hear. I think right now you're being asked to shed an old version of yourself, to clear out the pieces of you that are not aligned, specifically pieces that are causing you anxiety. For you specifically, I feel like your anxiety is an indicator of what's out of alignment. So look at the things that you are anxious around. And we're going to get into this when we get specific to the card that's giving me this message. But if you look at what your anxiety is, that's an indicator of what's out of alignment. And that's what needs to be addressed right now. Okay, so let's get into this. So with this Ace of Cups coming through, and this being the first card that we're getting in the reading, one, I think it's interesting the way we have this smoke coming out of this cup. Or maybe this is like water that is flowing out of the cup. I just thinking smoke because it goes to the cloud. However you want to interpret this, it's kind of giving us this like mirrored indicator where, this cup is mirroring itself. So I feel like for you, there's an element of reflection that you are being called to do right now. There's an element of reflection that you are being called to get into. So like when things come up for you, it's not about asking, why is this happening? It's about asking, what is this showing me about myself? What is this trying to teach me? Like leading with curiosity to be, but specifically to be from a more reflective space, if that makes sense. I also feel like there is a new relationship or maybe a rekindled relationship that is going to trigger or strongly encourage this reflection. It could be romantic. It doesn't have to be, though. I always say that in a more general reading because it could be any kind of newer relationship. It could be a friendship, or it could be like a family relationship. Maybe you lost touch with this person, you're reconnecting. But there is some facet of like a relationship really pulling out or digging up this need to reflect. And your guides are really encouraging you to go with that. Go with this reflection. Go inward, because ultimately that is what's going to lead you forward right now. That is what's going to get you through this cycle. Again, I do feel like there are things that need to be shed, that it's the old version of you that's starting to fall away. With this Page of Crystals, and I love that we have both the Page of Crystals and the Ace of Crystals, I do feel like part of what's happening here is there is something new that's sparking you. And you're being called to go on a journey of self-discovery right now. But specifically, I feel like it is related to your spirituality, or it's related to creativity. It's something that's sparking your soul, and it's something that you're not too sure about. And if this hasn't come in yet, you're being encouraged to be open to something like this coming in. Because it's this energy of it's just new and you're not sure what to do with it. You're not sure how much you want to engage with it, but it is speaking to you. It's doing something to you. It's sparking your soul. It's really what I'm getting with this. It's like there's this soul spark that's coming in. And it's something that's making you question a lot about who you used to be or who you have been up until this point. I think that's part of what we're getting with this Nine of Blades reversed energy, which we'll get to in a moment. But I just am really getting this message of this is like the path to the new you. This is the path that is going to support you and hold space for this discovery. And your guides are encouraging you to surrender to that, to surrender to what's awakening, to see where it takes you. There's no need to put pressure on yourself. Like to master this thing or to feel like you have to make some kind of decision if you're in or not. This is about exploration is what I'm getting. And this reversal is also to me indicating it's something that's meant to be very personal and private. You can of course share it with a few people if you want to, but this isn't like something that you put out there and are really loud and vocal about. This is something that's meant to be nurtured within you and really cultivated before you come forward with it. Now, with the Nine of Blades reversed, this is what was giving me the messages earlier about your anxiety being a big indicator for you right now. I say this a lot on this channel because I really think it's true, is that we have been so conditioned to believe that anxiety is bad. And of course, if it's overactive, truly it can be. But anxiety, I feel like, is also a really powerful emotion to work with. And I think so often we're so fixated on getting rid of the anxiety that we're not paying attention to what it's trying to tell us. All of our emotions have an actual purpose. They are sending us messages. And I think it can be very difficult when we're in an uncomfortable, anxious state to slow down and hear the message, but your guides are telling you to do just that. Take a look at what is spiking your anxiety, because that is a big indicator of what needs to shift in your life. And now, of course, like I'm almost getting the idea of like somebody watching this and feeling like, oh, like of course, like money's making me anxious because like I don't have enough of that right now or something like that. And yes, of course, that's a natural thing if you feel like you need more money. However, the point is, if the money's making you anxious, then it's how you're making it is out of alignment. Because if you were in alignment, you wouldn't be having a money issue. So it's that kind of thinking that you're being encouraged to explore here. So like if it is your job that's making you anxious, then what can you change about that? What about your job is out of alignment? If there's a specific relationship that's out that is making you anxious, is it that this person is not in alignment, or is it the way you're showing up to the relationship or the way they're showing up to the relationship? What needs to change there? Do more boundaries need to be set? Like this isn't necessarily saying, like the energy I'm getting here, it's not completely cut and run energy, though it could be for some of you. But for most of you, I'm really getting the sense that it's like you just need to pay attention around what's making you anxious and notice the shifts that need to happen that would be more supportive of you. And I think the money example is a really good thing. Like, of course, you're going to be anxious if you feel like your bills are not being paid or you're struggling for money. But the anxiety isn't really about the lack of income. It's trying to show you what's not in alignment, and it's how the money is coming in, period, that needs to change. So it's kind of like getting into that way of thinking of really looking at your world through that kind of a lens and seeing your anxiety, seeing like any type of negative emotion as a gateway, as something to be listened to and to pay attention to. Because doing all of that, that's really going to be building up your inner strength. And that's something you are really being called to do right now. I feel like this is kind of the purpose of of where you're at in your life right now, is you are being encouraged to really cultivate your inner strength. And the other message I'm getting, and the strength card is always so interesting to me. It's one of my favorites when it comes to interpreting, because so often, we are told in society that strength is like this brute force, right? And of course, that can be a form of strength, but true strength, as we see it in the tarot, is gentleness. In like pretty much every depiction, we have some form of a character taming a lion, but she's taming the lion by being gentle. That is the true strength. That is what gets power on your side. And that is what cultivates your own power, is gentleness, is nurturing. That is what really facilitates growth. And now that this card is coming up in the reverse, I'm getting two messages. One is that it's like you nurturing your inner power, you nurturing your inner strength. As this new part of you comes forward, you're being encouraged to nurture that. And the more you nurture that, the stronger you will become. But also, I'm really getting a need for you to be gentle with yourself. For you to know that you don't have to push yourself. You don't have to force yourself. You don't have to force this growth arc. This isn't about you like pushing and forcing a change or pushing and forcing the next version of you to emerge. This is about you nurturing the next version of you. So I'm really getting like a big sense of self-love needing to come through, and gentleness and nurturing and kindness to yourself. And that it's in doing that you will find your power and strength. So yes, we're going against what society is telling us strength looks like. But if you do that, that is where you find the true strength. That is where you get to the true heart of who you are and what you have to offer, both yourself and the world. And this Judgment card, I really feel like in general right now, this awakening, I do feel like this is some kind of awakening that you are going through right now. And that's part of why your guides are here, to show their support and to help. They want you to have this gentleness for you. They don't want you to feel forced or alone in this. So I think that's why a lot of these messages are coming through. But this message is also about getting out of your own way. When Judgment comes up in reverse, when it's upright, it's answering the call. It's you're being called to something greater, and you're being encouraged to lean into that, to move towards it. And I do think you are also being called to something greater, but perhaps you have a tendency, or you might have an inclination at some point in this journey, to shy away from that, to overthink it, or to feel like you have to do more than you actually do. So this card is about getting out of your own way, slowing down. I also really appreciate that we have this like third eye imagery happening here. So I think you are really being encouraged to go inward, to listen to your intuition, to let that guide you here. And when you go inward, you're going to naturally connect with your guides as well. Like this is them wanting to come through more. I'm almost getting the idea that like this is them. This is your guides trying to guide you. But if you are overthinking it or questioning too much or trying to cling to the old version of you too tightly, it's going to be very difficult for them to come through and for you to fully shed this version of you. And it's so important that you are open to this, because with this Ace of Crystals, like this is something new, like a new version of you, but also a new beginning, fresh energy that I feel like you are moving towards. I'm also really being drawn to the castle that we have here. This is very much reminding me of the Four of Wands, where we have that house in the background. We have that kind of castle-like imagery in the background. So even if the Four of Wands isn't here, I feel like it's like this is putting you on the journey to your Four of Wands life. And the Four of Wands is like celebration, it's family, it's union, it's coming into alignment, it's having reached a level of success that you can truly celebrate and feel safe in, and knowing there is more to come. Like that's the magic of the Four of Wands. And I feel like you are on the path to that. And that's what this card is kind of indicating to me, that you're being set up for. That's what all of this work, all of this inner work is awakening within you. And your guides want you to know that it's going to be worth it. And I know it might not always feel that way when you're in like the muck of it, but it's going to be worth it. It's really getting you someplace inspiring. All right, I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you now. I've been using this deck to show us what needs to be shed here more specifically and what that shedding is making room for. So we're gonna let your guides come through and pick a card that will tell us what needs to be shed right now for you and what is coming through for you. Okay, peace. Chaotic and calm. So yeah, the chaotic energy is what's being shed right now. I think that's definitely part of what this anxiety is I'm wondering if things that are making you anxious are also kind of chaotic environments or situations, or just things that disrupt your peace. Whether they're chaotic or not to other people is irrelevant. I feel like it's situations that feel chaotic to you to some degree. And all of this work that you're doing, it's calling in calm. That's what you are being prepared for. That's what you are trying to be nurtured for. But the other thing about this too, with this calm, is I feel like with this strength card specifically, learning gentleness, learning slowness, being kind to yourself, all of those kind of lessons, I feel like all of that kind of stuff is helping your nervous system prepare for the calm. Helping your nervous system get to a place where calm and peace actually feel good. Because when you're in a more activated state, when your nervous system is more dysregulated and you're in a more activated state more frequently, calm won't feel safe. So I think that's part of what this work is right now. It's about you really tapping into your calm and learning to allow calm to feel safe. And I think like the changes that you're going to be encouraged to make during this journey, the changes that your guides are going to encourage you to make are gradual. And all of that gradual work will lead to a place that when you get to this point, this Ace of Crystals, and then even moving forward on that the Four of Crystals or Four of Wands energy, that feels good and safe to you. Let's see what else we have for you. Okay, come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance desires. Yeah, this is that, again, like this Page of Crystals energy is like, there are new desires. There are new things coming forward. This process is preparing you to receive. This process is preparing you to be more magnetic, to be more naturally attractive to your desires in the universe. I feel like that's what you are shedding, is any fears or any feelings of unsafety or lack of safety around abundance and around receiving. And now for this last deck we have, this is the Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle deck. I really like to close readings with this deck when I use it, especially readings like this, because while they are oracle cards, they do have a message. They also ask a question. And this question, I think, is a really great way to end a reading because it's something for you to kind of work with beyond the reading. It's something you could maybe journal about or meditate on or contemplate if you want to. And of course, if you don't have to. But it's just a little something extra that your guides, I think, are going to ask you to think about today. Oh, that one came right out. We've got, oh my gosh, oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance towards those you don't understand? And I do feel like that's a powerful question, but to me, it starts with showing yourself the compassion and acceptance before. Okay, here's what's coming up for me. So I do love Brene Brown's work. I've read, well, at least I'm working my way through her books. I'm getting towards the end. But one thing she has said in one of her earlier books, I can't remember if it's The Gift of Imperfection or Daring Greatly. But in one of these books, she talks about self-love. And the thing that jarred her into doing her own self-love work was learning that you are only capable of loving another person to the depths of which you love yourself. So if she wanted to love her kids as fully as she believed they deserved to be loved, she had to first love herself that much. And I feel like this question coming out is kind of more about you than it is about other people. So it's like, how can you show yourself more compassion and acceptance? Because once you can do that, you will naturally start to do that to other people, and that will lead you to more peace. But I really believe this is more of a question of how can you show yourself more passion, more compassion and acceptance. And that's going to bring out, again, that's all of this strength reversed work. And your guides really want that for you. Your guides really want you to have that kind of compassion and acceptance towards yourself. The peace it will bring you, the magic it will awaken within you is just next level. So as you move through this journey, especially with whatever's new here is emerging, and with whatever this is that you possibly need to shed and let go of, and like while you might be feeling anxious and uncomfortable, how can you show yourself more compassion and acceptance? And on that note, pile number 4, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you in future readings. Also, as always, if you would like a more personalized experience, I do offer personal readings. They're linked in the description box below. And if that's not right for you, but you still want to support the channel, I do have a donation link. Donations are never expected, but always appreciated. And the money does go back into growing and nurturing the channel. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.